What's up, guys? Eli here. Welcome back to Seinfeld Saturday. Today I'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 4, titled The Stock Tip. And this episode actually wraps up Season 1. You might remember me talking about that on the first Seinfeld Saturday episode. I mentioned Season 1 only being 4 episodes plus the pilot, so if you want to add the pilot, you got 5 episodes, basically. A deal was made for a second season, but just barely. Can you imagine a world where Seinfeld was canceled after just 1 season? Well, it came pretty close to happening. Anyways, the episode starts with Jerry doing stand-up in a nightclub, just like those early episodes would, and then switches to him and George at Monk's Cafe, arguing about whether or not Superman has a super sense of humor. And Superman would actually become an almost regular topic throughout the series. And then Elaine comes in and joins Jerry and George and tells them about how she has been dating this guy, but he has cats and she's like super allergic. Jerry talks about how he's been thinking about planning a weekend getaway with a girl who he kind of recently started dating in order to speed up, in his words, the relationship process. George warns Jerry that that's a horrible idea, but Elaine actually thinks it's okay. George then mentions a stockbroker that he's recently come across that seems to give great stock advice. And George feels like it's pretty much worth a shot and tries to talk Jerry into investing with him in these stocks. Jerry's pretty reluctant, but George eventually talks him into it. And so Vanessa, the girl that Jerry is dating, is actually the same girl from episode 2, and this will be her final appearance. Jerry becomes obsessed with checking the stock market because his stock is already seems to be plummeting. And Kramer actually finds it amusing and advises Jerry to sell it before he loses any more money. And Wilkinson, the broker, is actually now in the hospital and is unreachable, so George and Jerry don't know what move to make since Wilkinson was supposed to, advise them step by step. Fast forward to Jerry and Vanessa's weekend getaway in Vermont, and it is not going well. It seems to be raining the entire time that they're there, so they have to stay inside the hotel, and that kind of ruined all their plans of, doing outdoor stuff. They have nothing to do. She seems bored and unimpressed, and Jerry's starting to panic since he has no idea how to keep her entertained for the next couple days. Even though Jerry already sold his stock before the trip, he decides to check on it anyways, only to find out that it is recovered and went up 6 points. As you can imagine, he's not impressed. Fast forward to the end of the trip, and George, Jerry, and Elaine are eating together at Monk's, of course, and George is celebrating after the money he made from cleaning up with his stocks. And the episode ends with George talking about another stock tip from Wilkinson. The highlight for me is the part where George hands a wad of cash to the waitress to pay for their food, and then he calls her back after looking at the receipt, and he takes $1 back out of her hand. Classic George. So I'm going to give the stock tip a 7 out of 10. As I said before, no Seinfeld episode for me will likely get a score lower than 7. It's a fairly average episode, still very good, don't get me wrong, but the writing just hasn't gotten to where it would get. Not just yet. Anyways, guys, what do you think about this episode, the stock tip? Is it one of your favorites, one of your least favorites? Do you just think it's okay? You want to give it a number rating like I did? Feel free. And I appreciate you guys as always, and thanks for stopping by. We'll talk soon. Cheers.